Welcome back to Movies on the Brain. I'm Jason, and today we're diving into the spooky and campy world of the 1985 horror classic Fright Night, directed by Tom Holland. Not that Tom Holland. This cult favorite stars William Ragsdale and Chris Sarandon. In this video, I'll be sharing my thoughts and insights after watching this iconic film. We'll explore the thrilling atmosphere, memorable characters, and the mix of horror and humor that make Fright Night a beloved classic. Remember, this is a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, pause, watch it, and then come back so we can sink our teeth into every chilling detail together. Let's get started. Fright Night opened in theaters on August 2nd, 1985, and had a budget ranging from $7 million to $9.25 million. In its 5-week theatrical run, it earned a total of $24.9 million. Its opening weekend saw it earn $6.1 million, finishing number 3 in the box office, only behind Back to the Future and National Lampoon's European Vacation, numbers 1 and 2 respectively. Its final week in the box office saw it earn $1.2 million, finishing its run at number 16. Now let's get to the plot. 17-year-old Charlie Brewster is a fan of the late-night horror television program called Fright Night, hosted by former movie vampire hunter Peter Vincent. One evening, Charlie discovers that his new next-door neighbor, Jerry Dandrige, is a vampire responsible for the disappearances of several victims. After telling his mother, Charlie asks his girlfriend, Amy Peterson, and his friend, Evil Ed Thompson, for help before contacting the authorities. Detective Lennox goes with Charlie to Jerry's house to question him, but his roommate, Billy Cole, tells him that Jerry is away on business. Charlie reveals his suspicions about Jerry's vampirism, and Lennox leaves furious. That night, Charlie is shocked to see Jerry inside his house, having been invited by Charlie's mother. Later, Jerry visits Charlie and offers him a choice: ignore his vampiric activities or else. Charlie refuses, brandishing a crucifix at Jerry. When Jerry tries to push him out the window to his death, Charlie stabs Jerry's hand with a pencil. Jerry destroys Charlie's car in retaliation and threatens Charlie over the telephone. Charlie turns to Peter Vincent for help, but Peter dismisses Charlie as an obsessed fan. Amy, fearing for Charlie's sanity and safety, hires the astute Peter to prove that Jerry is not a vampire by having him drink what they claim is holy water. It is only tap water. Jerry has claimed to Peter that drinking actual holy water might be against his religious convictions. Peter discovers Charlie is right about Jerry's true nature after glancing at his pocket mirror and noticing Jerry's lack of a reflection, causing him to accidentally drop the mirror. Peter then flees, but Jerry learns of his discovery after finding a shard of mirrored glass on the floor. Jerry hunts down Ed and turns him into a vampire. Then Ed proceeds to visit Peter and tries to attack him, only to be warded off when burned by a crucifix to the forehead. Meanwhile, Jerry chases Charlie and Amy into a nightclub. While Charlie tries to call the police, Jerry hypnotizes and abducts Amy, who resembles Jerry's lost love, and bites her. With nowhere left to turn, Charlie attempts to gain Peter's help once more. Frightened Peter initially refuses, but then reluctantly resumes his vampire killer role. Entering Jerry's house, the two are able to repel Jerry using a crucifix, but only Charlie's works since he has faith in its spiritual power. Billy appears and knocks Charlie over the banister while Peter flees to Charlie's house. There he is surprised by Ed, who attacks him in the form of a wolf, only to be pierced through the heart with a broken table leg held by Peter. Moving the stake from Ed's body, Peter goes to rescue Charlie and battle Jerry. Charlie is locked in with Amy, who is slowly transforming into a vampire. Peter frees him before she awakens and says the process can be reversed if they destroy Jerry before dawn. Billy confronts Charlie and Peter and is revealed to be undead. They destroy Billy, who melts into goo and sand. Peter is able to lure the overconfident Jerry in front of a window using a crucifix, which now works with his renewed faith in its abilities. As the sun rises, Jerry transforms into a bat and attacks Peter and Charlie before fleeing to his coffin in the basement. Carly and Peter pursue Jerry. The latter breaks open Jerry's coffin and tries to stake him through the heart, while Charlie fights off Amy, who has almost completed her transformation. By breaking the blacked out windows in the basement, Peter and Charlie expose Jerry to the sunlight, destroying him and returning Amy to her human form. A few nights later, Peter returns to his Fright Night TV series and announces a hiatus from vampires, presenting a film about alien invaders instead. Carly and Amy watch the program as they embrace in bed. Carly gets up to turn the TV off and glimpses red eyes in Jerry's now vacant house, but dismisses them. Unbeknownst to both Charlie and Amy, a new neighbor has just moved in. Now let's look at the cast and some of the other roles they've had. Chris Sarandon as Jerry Dandrige. Other roles for Chris Sarandon include Detective Mike Norris in Child's Play, Jack Skellington in The Nightmare Before Christmas, speaking voice only, and Gary Placker in Perfume. William Ragsdale as Charlie Brewster. Other roles for William Ragsdale include Sans Cooper in Roadhouse 2, Chris Smith in Left Behind, and the priest in Renfield. Amy Bierce as Amy Peterson. Amanda Bierce, apologies. Other roles for Amanda Bierce include Marcy Rhodes Darcy in the TV show Married with Children, Ann Shepard in Bros, and Marjorie Phelps in Sky Sharks. Stephen Jeffries as Edward Evil Ed Thompson. Other roles for Stephen Jeffries include Hoax, Arthur Wilmoth in 976 Evil, Cameron in Emerging Past, and Donald Malik in Do Not Disturb. Jonathan Stark as Billy Cole. Other roles for Jonathan Stark include Sergeant Krieger in Project X, Lieutenant Destroyer in Mom and Dad Save the World, and Carly in House 2, The Second Story. Dorothy Fielding as Judy Brewster. Other roles for Dorothy Fielding include Caroline Morse in the TV show Goldie and the Bears, Rita Remsen in the TV show Generations, and Miss Parker in the TV show Melrose Place. Art J. Evans as Detective Lennox. Other roles for Art J. Evans include Doc in Native Son, Detective Charles Mendoza in White of the Eye, and Eli in Tales from the Hood. Stuart Stern as the cook. This was Stuart Stern's only acting role before his passing in February of 2015. But he wrote the screenplay for Rebel Without a Cause, Iraq, and The Ugly American. Robert Korff as Jonathan. The only other role for Robert Korff is Coil in Gas, or It Became Necessary to Destroy the World in Order to Save it. Pamela Brown is Miss Nina. The only other role for Pamela Brown is Ophelia in Caged In. First handful of times I watched this movie, for some reason it terrified me. I have no clue why. But now I see it as just a cheesy 80s monster flick, but it's still fairly well, I think. Fairly good, I think. Chris Sarandon stole the show in every scene he was just in, just the way he performed made you watch him. It was an annoying character, but I guess every movie has that one character you find annoying. I guess I forgot until watching for this review that Billy was undead. Um, the fact that Peter Vincent gives Jerry tap water, which understandably is due to him not believing Charlie, was ultimately an important part, because if it was actually holy water, it would have been a shorter movie. Labeled as a horror comedy, and I'm assuming the comedy is due to the cheesy horror scene shown on the television during Peter Vincent's television program. For this being William Ragsdale's first leading role, he did great. If you want campy, cheesy 80 horrors movies about vampires, I suggest you check this out if you haven't seen it already. This is Tom Holland directorial role, not Spider-Man Tom Holland. It was Chris Sarandon's idea to have Jerry eating apples throughout the film. While researching vampire lore, Sarandon looked at information about bats and concluded Jerry had a lot of fruit bat in his DNA. At the time this was being filmed, the studio was sinking all of its efforts into making a hit out of Perfect. He also gave high priority to the slugger's wife. Nobody paid any attention to Fright Night, commented writer and director Tom Holland. It was wonderful because of his theatrical roots and the long hours spent in the makeup chair. Chris Sarandon had helped apply his own vampire makeup and often worked on the finger extensions while the makeup artists were putting appliances on his face. Although the part of Peter Vincent was based upon and originally written for Vincent Price to play, Roddy McDowall decided Peter Vincent was not in the same league as Price. My part is that of an old ham actor, I mean a dreadful actor, McDowall commented in a 1985 interview with Monsterland magazine. He had moderate success in an isolated film here and there, but all very bad product. Basically, he played one character for eight or 10 films, for which he probably got paid next to nothing. Unlike stars of horror films who are actually very good actors and played lots of different roles, such as Peter Lorre and Vincent Price or Boris Karloff, this poor son of a bitch just played the same character all the time, which was awful. One of the life masks of Roddy McDowall, taken for Planet of the Apes franchise, is visible in Peter Vincent's office. Charlie's 1966 Mustang actually belonged to writer-director Tom Holland. The car was totaled in an accident a decade later. The fact that Amy resembles a lost love of Dandrige is Chris Sarandon's idea. He wanted Dandrige to have an added dimension, not just be some evil bad guy. Much of the film's $9.5 million budget was spent on special effects. It was the first vampire film to spend $1 million on special effects. The most financially successful horror film of the 1985 summer season and the second highest grossing horror film of 1985, behind A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. The final shot that Jonathan Stark filmed was the introduction of his character painting the window. Although William Ragsdale and Amy Bierce are playing teenagers, in reality Ragsdale turned 24 and Bierce was 27 during filming. Stephen Jeffries was 20. It took 8 hours to do the makeup for Jerry's final transformation. When Charlie Brewster first meets Peter Vincent outside the TV studio, that was the filming location for the start of the 1956 film Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Heidi Sorensen, who plays the hooker that Charlie sees going into Jerry's house, was Playboy Playmate of the Month in July 1981. The opening shots last for 2 minutes without an interruption. In fact, quite a few shots run on without a pause. Charlie is said 62 times during the movie. And that's a wrap on our nostalgic trip through Fright Night. I hope you enjoyed the spoiler-filled review and the exploration of the film's perfect blend of horror and humor. If you have any thoughts, favorite moments, or theories about the movie, drop them in the comments below. I love hearing your insights. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on our latest reviews. Also, click the bell icon to get notified every time we upload new content. Thanks for watching Movies on the Brain. I'm Jason, and I'll see you in the next review. Stay curious, movie lovers.